Joylan Silvera murdered his wife in cold blood. Did he plan it? Was it premeditated? I don't know. But I'm going to paint you a scenario. I'm going to paint you a scenario. I'm not telling you that this is exactly what happened, but I'm going to paint you a scenario, and I'm going to tell you how Mark figure into all of this. On the night that Melissa was murdered, Joylan Silvera, woman went there with for how long now? A fear car ma drive and down, go political events, political functions, political meetings. A fear car ma him woman, ma a side chick, ma a woman when me keep with him wife. And she was there that night up there. Many people don't know her, so she was just, so maybe she was there, maybe the man would never see her, maybe the man would know her too. You don't know. But she was there that night. Let's imagine that you and your husband is at a crossroads. Leslie died, and Melissa now saw her opportunity to get away from this monster that she was forced to marry. She was forced to marry him by her mother. And yeah, I know the people them will call me and text me now. I really don't care. And she saw an opportunity to get away from him. So she announced that she wanted a divorce. She also got wind of the woman who him have up. Because the woman carry my drive, can never care for himself. Boy, what let's be an understanding. Don't have nothing. Don't have a thing. But that is not the biggest thing about him. You soon know the biggest thing about him. Try and imagine that you're going to take a gun and you're going to center it into a woman's vajayjay. And you're going to pull that trigger 3 times and kill her. Imagine this scenario. It's not the first time him do it. Not the first time. Straddle her. Straddle over her. Talking down to her, threatening her, intimidating her. Running the gun from place to faces and intimidation. That's sick son of a bitch. Imagine that. It's a scenario I'm painting for you. I'm not saying that this is what happened. Don't tell a lie upon me. Him do it all the time. That's a threat. Hey girl, me will kill you. Me want the land. Melissa Silvera has a whole heap of land that her father did give her. Well, her father gave her some land. Her mother also did left some land. And he want the land to go develop, and she not sign it over to him either. That piece of shit. So she not sign on the land, and he want all of that. So the intimidation increased. So every time him straddle her and threaten her, it become more intense. But she not fearful because she has been there before. And so some questions need to be asked. And the police, the police of this country, I talked to them about how they handle the Powell matter and how them handling this. They're not giving us any information. What time did she die? Which one of the bullet killed her? Because there's 3 bullets. And when they do an autopsy on her body, the autopsy is not on the entire body. The autopsy is on the organs that makes the body function. So you call him? Jesus. The doctor that cut up dead people. Them. They cut open the body. And they're checking the vital organs. Liver, the heart, the spine, all kind of things I'm checking. But I'm not checking everything. And I'm looking for everything. I'm looking what could have killed her. So he has been straddling her. Have that gun run up and down in threat. I want the land. And I'm not getting a divorce. Because if him get a divorce, him not have nothing. Him lose everything. Him don't have shit. The pathologist, thank you, Ruthie. If Melissa divorce him have nothing. 0. Because a worthless boy wouldn't have nothing. The only thing he ever had was member of parliamentship, and he fucked that up. They threatened her. Shoot her 3 times. I spoke to 2 doctors who told me that. The reason why you'd want to shoot her from the vagina, there's a slim chance because of so many organs and so many things inside of the body that the bullet would make an entrance, an exit, sorry. Slim chance. That's the best way. So you do have an exit wound and you do have you don't have an entrance wound, you do have an exit wound. Don't know what is it Mango saw. And she's a pathologist all by herself. She looked like a jackass these days. And what they did, you moved her from the bedroom. And the questions that some Jamaicans need to ask and the police need to answer is, the time of her death is the most crucial thing that must be answered. What time? The pathologist can tell about what time she was killed. And you're going to find out why I'm saying this. You move her. You put her on gurgle and all kind of fancy something which would tighten her skin and hold in everything and keep her from bleeding profusely through her ears and her nose and even from her vagina. So you do those things and you cover her up and you move her to another room. Remember, it's conjecture I'm doing. And you move her to another room. Now we'll reach this far and we know what happened to the room that she was killed in. Him sister and her husband come and them lick down the room and all of that. Yes, him wash the body. Wipe it down and we're not washing, wipe it down. I want to be very clear and wipe down the body and dress her properly. Not even Ted Bundy could have think of those things. And then him call him sister and her husband for lick down the room and dig up the tile. So I want to ask the next question. If the police now ask them where the tiles are, where everything is, where them lick down, which part them dump them? Because that's crime scene information. You want to know murder. Where the stuff them there? The most important thing about that night is what time did she die? And the pathologist would have that information. Time of death. Time of death. And we're not talking about Matlock and Angela Lansbury murder she wrote. We're talking about Perry Mason. Perry Mason. Time of death. And Perry Mason going to court and him said, Your Honor, I'm not concerned about what killed Mrs. O'Connor. I don't remember that episode. But it's Mrs. O'Connor. Your Honor, we are not interested to find out what killed Mrs. O'Connor. We are interested, Your Honor, to find out what time Mrs. O'Connor died. Because that will tell us everything we know, everything we need to know. Who up there, when them arrive, who did dead before, all of that will be answered. What time? How did the country and the rest of the world learn of Melissa Silvera's death? I don't know if the police look into that yet. How did we find out that Melissa Silvera is dead? We found out that Melissa Silvera is dead through Mark Jefferson Golding. It was Mark Golding who announced first and foremost the death of Melissa Silvera. It was Mark Golding who came out and put it out and the passing of Miss Melissa Silvera, who died peacefully in her sleep. Mark Golding was the one who first put out that information. Him take it down now, but I'm sure somebody going to find it. The world and Jamaica learned of Melissa Silvera's death through Mark Golding's announcement. The death of Melissa Silvera died from in her sleep, peacefully in her sleep. Mark Golding announced that. So let's go back again. The leaders' men, the president's men, and the president. How did Mark Golding know that Melissa Silvera died peacefully in her sleep? Who told him that? Who gave him that information? Because Silvera gathered all of his people around him. I am conjecturing again. I'm conjecturing because so much people call me already about it. I'm conjecturing that the first person he called is Richie Parchment. I'm conjecturing that Richie Parchment was there when he called. The first person to inform them of this death him called was Mark Jefferson Golding. Joylan Silvera, the first person him called was Mark Golding. Come on, people. Police, phone log, timelines, and phone log. Because these are the people who asking the Jamaican people to vote for them. Timeline, call logs, phone. Dangerous thing that phone thing is. Silvera called Mark Golding and give him the information that he wanted to give him, current leader. You know, Melissa just died peacefully in her sleep, and Mark Golding put it out in the world. Silvera gave it to, there's nowhere else he could have gotten it. Nobody else could have called him and gave him that information. Because I put it out. Melissa Silvera died peacefully in her sleep. Mark Golding sent that out. That's how we learned of Melissa's death. So Silvera call Mark, him call Patch, him call up him parry them. Him want everybody around him so that him can get to cover him scene and cover himself and get back up. He want them all around him to back him up. Because him kill Luma because she not give me her land. And she want a divorce. She want to get out of that now. May I hope that PJ and KD and John Jr. and all of them, Dr. Phillips, may I hope, because them and Leslie and them friends, they were almost like godfathers to Melissa. So I'm hoping them not taking this lightly. And him build that around him. Him is like Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a serial pedophile. And he associated himself with princes and presidents and ex-presidents and prime ministers and big business moguls in order to cover his sins. He want them all to be around him to give him legitimacy to rape underage picnic. For Gillian Maxwell to groom them and bring them come give him. And him have all these big friends who will cover him. Silvera called Mark Golding, and Mark Golding was the one who told the world that Melissa died peacefully. Have the police questioned Mark Golding about that phone call? Have they seized this phone and look what time that phone call came in? Have they done a forensic audit of his page because them take it down? And him announced Melissa's death. Mark Jefferson Golding, the president, and his men and women. He was the one who announced it. But let me go a little further. Why did Silvera call the president of the People's National Party? Because Silvera was not just an umbrella man to Mark Golding. Oh no. He's not an umbrella man. He was not an hanger on. Him not just dead there for the ride because he have nothing else to go. Silvera is Mark Golding Chief of Security. Joylan Silvera, official position with Mark Golding, is his Chief of Security. I remember out of St. Mary sister there, the PMP night out of St. Mary, out of Natterby, when them come a sister there, how Silvera walk around the yard like a damn fool, like if man did want to blow a film, they come Mark Golding, them didn't blow it off long time. By the time he reach over the back. He's the one that goes to the places that Mark Golding is going to turn up and check the mic, check under the table, and look up at the house top and look for bomb threat, and look for threats there. So I tell them to put up this. You might want to put up these damn barricades, set up that, instruct them to put up these barricades against the stage. Talk about they get to rush the leader.